It's the fact that this isn't even all of the books that's actually kind of crazy. Hey, but me not dropping that. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be going through my April TBR. Listen, I know I have not filmed a TBR video and I don't know how freaking long. I think it's been a couple of months at least at this point. The reason for that has been, I talked about this a little bit on my TikTok, but I was just not in love with reading. I wasn't excited about reading. I was really only reading because I was supposed to. Like it's my job, so like obviously I read, but like I had fallen out of love with reading, and I think that was due to like the kinds of books that I was reading. We all saw, I went through and I read the Cruel Prince trilogy, which like hyper ignited my love for reading again, and I just cannot be stopped at this point. We're back on it. We're back on the TBR videos, and I'm super excited about today's TBR because boy is it ambitious, okay? We've talked about this before. I am absolutely nothing if not ambitious, and I just love that about me. And so I have literally a ton of books that I would like to read in April. Look, April is springtime, it's sunny, it's nice outside, the seasonal depression has gone, and it just feels like a good time for me to read. Let's just get into the massive TBR pile that I have here, okay? First I have Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. I read the first book in the Crimson Moth series, which was, what was the first book? What was the first book? Okay, I actually, like, my brain is not working and I cannot think of the first book that was this in the series. Heartless Hunter. Oh, I'm good. Okay, the Heartless Hunter was the first book. Now that I am excited to read again, this is gonna be one of the first books that I pick up because just holding it feels so good. I'm super excited to get into this. Yeah, this book is also just stunning. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this one. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. I actually, for our Patreon book club book of the month, Promise Me Sunshine, I think that's what it's called. That is our book for April, so I would like to get in a book by her before, and I heard so many good things about this book before that, and I know it's like a pregnancy trope, which after reading Out on a Limb by Hannah Boden Young is like my favorite thing ever. I don't really have any idea what this book is about outside of that. If you know me, you know that I don't like knowing what books are about before I go into them. I go into all of them virtually blind. So this will be kind of a quick TBR because I don't have much to say about them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, I do really want to get into this. It is giving like spring vibes because of all the bright colors and everything like that. So I was hoping that this will kind of get me into the spring mood. Then we also have The Identicals by Ellen Hildebrand. This is definitely for summer. However, I just love a good Ellen Hildebrand book. They're always so captivating, but in the way that's like a train wreck that you can't look away from. I don't need to know what this book is about simply because I know I'm going to enjoy it regardless. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Okay, my goal is to go through her whole backlist, and while I know that's gonna take me literally so long to get through, I don't care. I'm gonna be enjoying it either way. Okay, then we have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I did actually start this book. I am 50 pages into it and I put it down because I just was not in the mood for romance whenever I was trying to read this book, and I wanted to give it my full attention because I read Beach Read last summer and I loved that book down. That book will forever do things to me. I absolutely love that book. Now that it's time for me to get back into like the summer romance kind of vibe, I'm so excited to get into this because I want to read all of Emily Henry's books like in order. I don't want to read them out of order because I know that you get little like Easter eggs for her previous books like as you go on. So I want to make sure that I do this right. Then we have one of the newer books that I just bought, which was The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I absolutely adore Catherine Center books, and I just got this one from Houston Book Warehouse and I'm absolutely in love with it. The pink sprayed edges, the hardcover, the cover of the hardcover itself, I'm just in love with it, and it definitely screams some kind of spring-ish moment, so I'm really excited about getting into this. She wants to be a screenwriter and she gets the chance to rewrite a script for like a famous screenwriter, and I'm so excited about getting into this. Okay, then I have the next two books in the Lady Midnight trilogy. If you have not heard me talk about the Mortal Instruments, you're about to, okay? If you have, hey, rerun. I absolutely love the Mortal Instruments series down. Okay, this is not the Mortal Instruments series, this is the Dark Artifices, but it is a part of the Shadowhunter world by Cassandra Clare. There's a lot of books. If you want me to do a full video doing a rundown on all of these books, I absolutely can. If we're following like the actual timeline of events happening, this is the last trilogy to take place in the Shadowhunter world as it is right now. I don't know, I heard she was gonna write more. I just finished Lady Midnight like last week or the week before, and and so it is my goal for April to finish these 2 books because I actually have not read them. I started reading Lord of Shadows when it first came out, and then I stopped. I can't remember why I stopped. I think I got into Throne of Glass at that point. But this is like 2015, okay? This was a long time ago. Not 2015. This might have been like 2017, 2016, something around there. So it is a long awaited thing for me to finish this trilogy. Okay, then I also have The Wedding People by Alison Esbach. I really hope I'm saying her name right. I actually have had this book since before I got married, and the purpose of me wanting to read this book was because I was getting married, and Wedding People, people were telling me that I should read it, like if I wanted to read books that had to do with like weddings and stuff like that. I have no idea what this book is about. I was hearing a lot of people talk about it whenever it was first coming out, so I'm really excited about it, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Then I also have The Ministry of Time. I heard Haley Pham talk about this book, but also it just looks so cool. Like it looks, I don't even know how to describe it. I remember Haley talking about it being like a library type deal. On the back it says, a boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, and the beginning meets the end. So that immediately sounds so interesting. I'm really excited to get into this. I don't know if it's going to be in April. This is kind of more like an April hopeful than it is like April to be read, but I do really want to get into this book soon because every time I pass by on my shelf, I'm like, oh, I want to read that. So I finally picked it up and like am trying to make it a priority to read. Okay, speaking of my Mortal Instruments obsession, I want to go back and I want to restart the Mortal Instruments. This is like my super annotated copy. I want to go back and reread this book because I want to go back and reread the series. I'm just going to start with City of Bones because I do already have The Dark Artifices in the stack. I am going to be going through and reading them in order of publication again after I finish those 2 books. I can't really explain what The Dark Artifices are about because of where they fall on the timeline. It is kind of like a spoiler. I will say like it follows Emma and Julian, who are parabatai, which just means they're warriors who like fight together and they're like tied together through like magic and stuff, like not like magic but like magic basically. They're trying to figure out what's going on at this point in time. I can't tell you what it is because it would spoil stuff. The Mortal Instruments, it follows Clary and Jace, following Clary, who was looking for her mother because her mother gets taken and she finds out about the Shadowhunter world. It's so good. I literally love this series. I need to go back and get all of them in their original covers because I couldn't keep all of my books at one point, and so I'm literally like, one of the biggest regrets of my life is not keeping my original copies of these books, like figuring out a way to keep them because God, I miss them so much. Okay, then I'm also feeling like it's time to get back into my Then it really just felt like it was time to get back into my Western romance phase. So I have Heartless by Elsie Silver. I read Flawless like I want to say closer on to 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I just never continued on. So I really would like to get into Heartless. I was gonna start it last night, and then I ended up starting The Perfect Child instead by Lucinda Berry. 2 very different vibes, vastly different vibes. Listen, I don't know, okay? I've heard a lot about Cade, so I'm excited about it. I also would like to get into A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver because I read Off to the Races. I really enjoyed that, so I think it's time to get into the next book. Now getting into kind of like my spring specific kind of summery feeling books. I have First Time Caller by BK Borison. I have been hearing about this book since it came out. It came out not too long ago, and I love it. I was gonna read it for Valentine's Day, and then Valentine's Day got too crazy. I would like to pick this up at some point very soon. It's also just gorgeous. I literally love this cover, and it's pink, so kind of reminds me of spring. We also have Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. So originally I was planning on reading this book like in fall, but then I actually was looking at the cover and it's very much giving spring. Like the premise of it is giving fall, but the vibe of the cover and everything is giving spring. So I'm gonna read it hopefully this month and we'll see what it's actually giving. I've heard so many good things about this book, to be honest with you. Since reading a novel love story and not really loving it though, I'm always kind of like hesitant to pick up an Ashley Poston book, but we're batting it like a 50% right now. So I'm hoping that Dead Romantics is like the deciding factor there. Then we also have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. Oh, I'm so excited to read this book. I was taking a break from YA romance for a while, which is why I did not get into this as soon as it came out. Now that like I'm actually back into like my YA groove and like I'm loving it again, I will absolutely be picking this up because if you know me, I ride or die for Lynn Painter. Okay, I've read every other book that she has come out with except for this one, so I will be reading this very soon. I didn't know that she was writing a second book after Better Than the Movies. Like I read Better Than the Movies, I absolutely loved loved it. It was so good. Then I found out she was coming out with this, and I'm really, really scared that my emotions going into this book, because that can't be good. You know what I mean? Especially because we're getting the same characters. Like, this is not a standalone. This is like a continuation of the story. So I'm very scared about this one. Then we also have The Reality of It All by Alison Specca. I'm super excited to read this book because I remember like a while ago I was talking about how I was really, really feeling that one season of Love Island that was like really, really huge on TikTok. I binged that series, and so I was talking about how like I wanted a reality kind of TV show feeling for a book. Allison had put this out, and so she sent it to me, and then I just never got around to reading it. I'm feeling like I want to read it now. The only thing I know is that the main character of this book gets tricked into going on a like writer like reality TV show. I don't know how that happens, but I'm really excited to get into it. I do know it's also on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, we're gonna kind of like fly through these last couple of books because I don't know nearly enough about them to like actually give you a good description of them. But I have The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I love Sarah Adams. She usually writes no spice books. I know this book has like a trigger warning of a spice scene in it. I know that this is the next book that comes after the cheat sheet, and I did read the cheat sheet like again like 2 years ago, so I am excited to get into it. I forgot who it's following though. We're just gonna get right into this and then hopefully I like it. I also want to read The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I read a K.L. Walther book again like 2 years ago. I read What Happens at Midnight. It was really good. I had a lot of fun with it. It was actually towards the very, very beginning of my YouTube journey. I wanted to pick this book up last summer, but then I didn't. So now it's time for it. I also would like to read All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't know why this is giving summer to me. I think it's because when I read the first book in this series, The Naturals, literally going on summer vacation. So I feel like that's why this series in my head is synonymous with summer for me. If you have not heard what the series is about, we're following a group of kids who are picked from the FBI for having like FBI like skills. Like they all have a very, very certain skill set. It's a really good fast-paced series. This is the third book in it, and I would like to go ahead and just get these books finished because I'm so tired of still being in the middle of so many series, but that's neither here nor there. We also have One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serrell. I read expiration dates by her last month, and so I'm trying to go back and read more of her books. I've heard like iffy things about these books though, so I'm not sure if I'm going to love it or not, but I really hope I do. And I had to have one of the Queen's books on here, Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn. Megan Quinn's books are honestly just like a breath of fresh air. They're so easy to get through. They're so fun. They're not serious like at all in the slightest. It takes place in Santorini, and that's so cool. Last but not least, I want to read How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong. I heard a ton about this book again a couple of months ago, last year at some point. I just never got into it. The only thing I know about this book is that the two main characters have not seen each other after a traumatic event like 10 plus years ago, and they're both screenwriters, and they're both kind of like trying to run from their past, but then they end up like running right into each other. I'm super excited to get into this. I do think this is going to be a good one. I think I've just been kind of like waiting to be in the mood for it to read it so I can give it like my full attention, if that makes sense. But yeah, okay, that was the end of the quite literally massive TBR that I have planned. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I love it. I'm really excited to get into it. I want to know what books are on your TBR. Okay, give me your April hopefuls, your April TBR, whatever it is that you call it. What books are you hoping to read in April? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you guys want to find my face on any other place on the internet, as always, check all the links in my description. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.